Good Monday morning. It's Coffee Talk with the Simple Salesman. Today we are going to be talking about what Mondays mean. So Mondays are kind of a state of mind. Some people's Mondays are Tuesdays. Some people's Mondays are Thursdays. It's the first day going back to work after you've had a couple of days off. So this is one of those things where Monday is actually one of the most important days of your week, and so many of us drag our way through that we make it really difficult on ourselves. So for me, I always start with a cup of coffee in the morning. So right now it's still fairly dark outside, so you're going to get just this very dull background. I just noticed when I was setting up the camera, the only color that I have are the baby wraps hanging over the railing. So we're going to have to do something with that wall behind us because, man, that is a bland gray wall. It looks great in the house, but I dare not flip the camera around to show the messy kitchen that I did not clean up this morning. So, you're going to have to live with the dull, bland wall. But today, we're going to talk about different things to do on a Monday to actually make a difference, to make an impact, to really get off with a start. Because if you can walk out the door and have a great Monday morning, then you're off to a good start. So the shameless promotion starts right now. Make sure you make sure that you comment below for the things that you want us to hear next week, and make sure you share, because somebody out there is having a crappy Monday morning and needs to hear this on what they can do to make their Monday morning better. So make sure that you share this, make sure that you like the page, and after that's over, let's actually get down to the brass tacks of what we're talking about. So Mondays, right? Mondays are the day you've had 1 or 2 days off, maybe even 3, maybe you're on vacation and you come back and you're kind of dreading going to work. Well, that's problem number 1. So we can talk about how to set up a goal to get into a job or a career that you absolutely love to wake up and go to every morning. Mine was always every time I get to wake up and go teach and train and coach someone or work on making an impact. So right now, I'm super stoked to be here. I'm excited to actually make an impact in you guys that are watching right now. But let's really talk about what we can do on a daily basis, well, on a Monday basis, to make that difference, an action difference. Well, the one thing that I do is I do one thing different every morning. Now, mind you, it's planned. I planned my different on Sunday night. It can be if you have the same thing for breakfast every single morning, changing that. Me, those of you who know me, this is gone. I carry a beard around, well, a very trimmed beard, but close enough, every single day because it makes me look a little bit older, and I feel more distinguished. Makes me feel better about myself. However, it's not bad. It just look young, a lot younger than I think I am. But hey, in the spirit of change, I went ahead and just went completely clean shaven. And what's interesting is it really sets it up for having a different kind of day. You really give yourself that change is going to occur, that this week is going to be filled with stuff, filled with different opportunities, and that way when change happens to you later on in the day, later on in the week, it's not as big of a deal. When you fear change, when you stick to the same routines and the same habits all the time, when those are broken, it causes stress. And I see that a lot of time when things don't go according to plan, when traffic is bad on the way to work, but someone's still on time. There was something that stopped them from coming to work, and I can't tell you how many times I've had my employees, my coworkers, my peers say that, just traffic was horrible this morning, but yet they walked in on time. So what was the problem? The problem was something got in their way. There was change that occurred that was forced upon them, that was out of their control, and it was frustrating. You just can't let that stuff get to you, ever. And I'm telling you right now that change is going to happen to you. Now, I talk a lot in my seminars and on my coachings that when you design your blueprint and you're making progress, that you get happiness from that. But change is something that we're going to have to deal with on a regular basis. So it's one of those things where when you start off a Monday morning with change, you can start off with that in the mindset. Now, if you read any of the success books that are out there, you're going to find out real quick that they always talk about habits of highly successful people. And there's certain habits that people do that make them successful. And having those habits is good, right? So for example, I try to wake up every morning between 4 and 5 o'clock. I give myself a range. If I'm tired, I sleep a little bit later, but I always make sure that I'm up before everyone else so I can shoot these videos, I can work on the stuff, I can make sure that I have breakfast prepared for my daughter. There's a lot of things that I like to do in the morning that I can't do other times. So for me, making a change where I got up later would be a bad change to make. So it's one of those things where you need to look at the habits that you're doing, and maybe the change you make on Monday morning is something you've been putting off, right? What are you putting off? What are you procrastinating on? One of the killers of goals and killers of things that when we're trying to make progress is procrastination. So what could you change on Monday morning, on today, that would start something in motion? Because if you can start progress on Monday morning, if you can take that project that you were dreading for and boom, tackle it, then you're really going to make that change. You're going to start off Monday with momentum going into the week. Life is all about momentum. Think about this for a second. Think about the people that you've gone to work with and they've walked in and they've been just in a bitter mood, and they just stay that way all day long. When someone comes in a bad mood, their momentum is not going to take them from bad mood to good mood. It doesn't happen. What happens is we come in with a good mood and we get that momentum going and things get thrown in our way. All these different obstacles of things that just stop your momentum forward. However, if you never start, then you're already in a pissy mood. So don't do that. Well, and I say be that person. Be that person that walks in, good morning, how are you today? And you're like, I'm fine, it's Monday. You want to be the first person, not the second person. There is nothing wrong with a Monday. If you don't like the job, let's start something in progress to start moving out of it. Have you looked? Have you started doing anything to get you out of the situation? Every Monday morning, start something that's different. Start something that's full of change, that's full of momentum, that's full of vigor, that gets you excited about the week. Because if you don't, you're just going to dread that entire week. If you come in excited, by the time you hit Friday and you look back and you made progress on all these things at work, it'll give you a sense of satisfaction. Whether you like your job or you don't like your job, if you come in Monday being like, okay, let's hit this hard, let's get this stuff done, let's get ahead of these tasks, let's get ahead of this, let's make a difference, let's be better than I was last week, let's put out more, let's have better efficiency, whatever it is that you do, if you would tackle Monday with vigor and with passion, no matter what you do, it will change your mindset. So change is inevitable. The question is, are you going to change to better your life and increase your happiness and success and progress? Or are you going to make a change that puts you on the downside, the downhill, starts making you angry, starts frustrating you? Because life is filled with things that are already full of frustration, so don't let those get to you. Let's start with something that's going to excite you. Let's start with a change that is in the positive direction. So what does that look like? For me, as I said, shaving off the beard, right? Not a bad thing. I feel a little naked like this, a little young, but there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's you wake up 15 minutes early. Maybe it's I'm going to cook a warm breakfast instead of cereal. Maybe it's I'm going to take that meal replacement shake so I can start my weight loss. Maybe it's I'm going to exercise in the morning when I normally don't. Maybe it's I'm going to get to work a little early and I'm going to tackle that project first. Whatever it is that you normally do on Monday, whatever that thing is, that routine is that doesn't work, what is something you could do to put yourself ahead? A change needs to be something that when you're making it, that increases your productivity, that makes you more passionate, that makes you happier. A change that you make on Monday has to set up the momentum for the rest of the week. But that's really only today's topic. I always change one thing on Monday, just one. And I always set it up on Sunday. That way on Mondays, I'm not frantically searching for it. So there's a lot of other things that we can talk about when it comes to change on the Monday mornings, when it comes to progress, when it comes to setting up on your Mondays. And we're going to do that every single week. Make sure that you tune in. We should post these about 5 to 6 a.m. every Monday morning. We're going to have them up for you on YouTube, on Facebook. This is just the first one. So Coffee Talk in the Morning with the Simple Salesman. We'll talk about things you can do to actually start progressing your day. And I want you to comment. Comment below. What are your challenges? What are your issues? What are your problems? Let's feed them at me. Throw them at me. I want to hear them. And then we'll tackle them one at a time. Because remember, we all share the same problems. We all have the same issues every Monday morning when we go to work. Some of us are morning people, some of us are not. It doesn't mean you have to make your change in the morning, right? It doesn't mean that you have to be that different thing right then in the morning. Now, I always think that you have to approach work from a passion, from a vigor, right off the bat with full of energy. Because when you approach it with full of energy, you keep the momentum up. So we had a little bit of a recording snafu there. I apologize, but you just right back into it. You got to make sure that you are making a difference right off the bat. You've got to push forward, excuse me, and you got to make sure that that change is going in the right direction. So next week, depending on the comments, so please comment below. Send me a direct message. Send the Simple Salesman message. I'm Richard Hughes Finley, the Simple Salesman. You can send me a direct message. You can send the page a message. You can comment on the video. But make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you like the page, and make sure that you comment. Someone out there that you know needed to see that too. If you really want them to see this one, they need to change something, go ahead and tag them in it. I'll give them a shout out. I'll call out them on them in person. So guys, thank you so much for joining with us. It is exciting to have a Monday morning and start that momentum off right away. So whether you're watching this on Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day you need that pickup, Coffee Talk on Mondays. Guys, we'll see you next week.